Welcome back. You're watching 101. We're speaking with actor Karim Saleh. Kicked out of drama school. That wasn't the end of it, though, was it?
The end of acting?
No, you obviously were determined to carry on.
That was the beginning, I think.
Yeah. What happened? What was it that had you expelled?
I think for the first year at drama school, I was resorting to my sort of self-eradication technique, where I put my personality aside. I had no desires, I had no need, no motivation. I was only there to take whatever the school had to give me. And it was very structured, it was classical, it was a lot of RP and a lot of accent. And I felt slowly as my desire to invest myself in my work grew, I became less and less comfortable with the rules imposed by the school and with the style imposed by the school. So I asked, I think, a legitimate question. I said, okay, now after 2 years of being with you, I understand what you are giving me, but what can I give you? What is my input in this? How do I participate in this process? And I felt there wasn't any room for me at drama school in England. And I had an argument with one of the directors that was putting on a play. And then eventually I wrote my own monologue and pretended it was by a German writer and said it as my final year monologue. And it was all against the school, and they knew that I had written it, and eventually decided that it was best if I didn't leave with their name on a piece of paper.
Where was the turning point then? When did things pick up?
Very shortly after drama school, I was friends with an Egyptian director, Yusri Nasrallah. He was my stepfather's best friend, and I had met him in Cairo a year before I got kicked out, and I'd spent 4 magical days with him where he made me see a lot of films that I hadn't seen, and we spoke about cinema, and we spoke about acting and Egyptian cinema and what we wanted to do with our lives. He encouraged me a lot, and when I came out of drama school, he said, why don't you go and see my friend Andy Litvak? He's casting. He needs a young Israeli boy for his film. I went, met Andy, got the job, and it was a Merchant and Ivory production.
Mm-hmm.
Ismail Merchant and I,
yeah, of course, yeah,
became friends. Ismail, I don't know, whenever Ismail Merchant saw me, I'd make him laugh.
He's a wonderful man, yeah.
I mean, he was very warm to me, and I just made him laugh. There was something about him. He'd look at me and say, you're a little rascal. You're a bad guy, but you're funny. And he introduced me to an agent in London, and from there she started getting me work.
And then, at what point did you feel you had secured yourself as an actor? You say you were terribly nervous when you first started. At what point did you feel comfortable with what you were doing?
The only time I ever feel comfortable is when I'm actually doing it. I don't think acting gives me security. I think if I want to find security, I find it in other things, and I spend all my time outside of acting trying to reassure myself and trying to build myself back up and trying to find the courage to keep on saying I'm an actor and to keep on looking for jobs and to keep on taking on characters. I think what is happening is that I'm becoming more and more comfortable with insecurity rather than feeling secure. I'm getting better at being insecure, I think.
That's not bad, it's a start. So what do you see as your defining moments? Obviously, being kicked out of drama school is probably one thing, but obviously things worked out. What do you see as your defining moments?
Definitely one of my favorite moments in the past 8 years has been working with Antonia on the Hamburg Cell. It was a project that was commissioned by television. Originally HBO wanted it made, but then they pulled out of the production, and then Mentor and TV conducted the research, and Channel 4 put the project together. So it was a TV format, which I'm not necessarily a big fan of, but I ended up meeting Antonia, and I realized very, very quickly when I first met her that this woman was going to teach me everything I needed to know about how to create that bridge between my personality, my ambitions, and acting. She helped me and it was the character that I feared the most. It was a 9/11 terrorist. It was the Lebanese guy, Ziad, who started like the young Lebanese guy that I was. We had the same activities. He was open-minded, he was liberal, he was having fun, he was a party guy. We had a lot in common. So and then we move apart and apart and apart. So she helped me bridge it. She helped me accept the fact that I was going to be able to portray him. And I think she's the one who got me really started and interested in the craft.
What would be an ideal role for you? We were discussing at the beginning, you were saying about the different kinds of roles, and there's nothing really where you can, you can relate in the right way. What would be an ideal role?
The one thing, the one sort of type that I'm always attracted to is an artistic type. I want to play an artist.
In doing anything in particular? I mean,
I want to explore playing a character that is completely creative, completely free, completely passionate about his art, that is going through constant change.
It's almost like a reflection of your life.
Yeah, but there's always, I feel when I get a role, I always feel I get the role because I need to learn something from the role. There's always a coincidence. When I played Joshua, and there was a scene about the relationship between Joshua and Moses is a father figure, and he forces, in the story that we told, he forces Joshua to stand up on his feet and fight. I felt I had something to deal with that had to do with my fathers and my ancestors and my male ancestors and so on. I feel every role comes to me as a gift in order to open a door that I haven't opened yet.
Is there any topic, any subjects which are taboo for you? Is there anything you wouldn't do?
You know what? I'd have a really, really, really hard time portraying anybody who abused a child. That is the one thing that really, truly. I think that would make me sick. I think, but there's something about soldiers and criminals. I'm not scared of them.
What about issues such as religion? Would you? Because again, that can often come under fire, especially in the Middle East.
I'm not scared of institutions. I'm not scared of institutions. I'm not scared of desacralizing anything. The one thing that would really hurt my feelings would be to portray someone who's abusing or hurting a child.
In terms of finding the time to do the things you want to, fitting in the other things, like you say, you're very hungry for movies. Do you get time for much else?
I get a lot of time. I get more time than I know what to do with. But I feel that time helps me to explore things, and it helps me to find things out about myself or even about others. And I've had opportunities to travel and meet people. It's been, I feel that the past 10 years have replaced my not going to university. In a way, my career has helped me get my education.
And it's interesting because your work now on the issue of Iraq is something that's come up after a sort of empty period.
Yes.
Out of Iraq. How is that? Was that fulfilling in any particular way?
It was before it became fulfilling. I realized how ignorant I was about what was going on in Iraq, and I don't mean politically. I was informed about what was going on, and I knew facts, a few facts, not everything, but I hadn't communicated with Iraqis, and I hadn't tried to put myself in their shoes emotionally. And so, having to do that, I realized how insensitive I had been, and how much work I had to do in order to understand what they were going through. And instead of finding sadness, I found something else. I found devastation, and I found decay, a sense of loss of self, and decay in that loss. And it was a very difficult process for me to find that character.
When you connect like this, does it hurt you emotionally? Does it hurt your own character, your own personality?
I feel it's enriching. I don't feel it's harmful.
Even when it's such a dark emotion, such as devastation?
I think I truly feel that putting yourself in somebody else's shoes and trying to see the world from their point of view is enriching. There's nothing harmful about it.
Well, Karim, it's always difficult to ask this question with someone who's young and up and coming like yourself. But if there was to be a legacy, if there's something you'd want to be remembered for, what would it be?
If I could truly succeed at portraying love in films. I know it's the most common theme of all, but I think there's still room for another, glimpse of what this feeling truly is and what the possibilities truly are. I really want to be able to play true love with all the hopes and all the joy that it holds.
Karim Saleh, I wish you luck. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.